Hello everyone. Hello everyone. A very good morning and ellarigu namaskara. This is Sufia from RankBook. So in this video, in this live session, we'll be discussing a lot more about the verbal ability. So namig gottirange verbal ability carries 20 whole marks and you'll be allotted 20 minutes for it. Okay? So as you know, 20 marks will be allotted for you guys and 20 marks and for 20 minutes, right? So now in this live session, we'll be discussing about the WIPRO previous year's question papers. I mean the questions which appeared in the previous years, and I have selected a few questions and we'll be discussing a lot more about it. So now the topic for today's live session will be sentence correction. Sentence correction. So most of you all, tend to use wrong sentences, or most of you guys, end up with some or the other errors when you frame a sentence, right? So now why is the sentence correction asked in the WIPRO WILP? So ivaga on assessment ide anta ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಆ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಆ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ See, because it tests your ability to identify and correct errors. See, I always tell this, hard tech skill is important, but that is not everything. Besides, you also need your communication, you also need your sentence formation, you also need your English to be, very good to, survive in a company. So, to just assess that, WIPRO WILP has this assessment, and it also has verbal ability or verbal course. And in this, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do in sentence correction? Adrally, you're supposed to know how the grammar is used. Okay, how the grammar is used, and what about the punctuations used? Okay, and the sentence structure. Is it in a proper structure or no? And the word usage. How are the words being used? And overall sentence. So after considering all of these parameters, alva, so at the end, nam sentence correct madbek now. So that is the only goal. Okay, so now ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ prior to solving questions, I tell you guys a few tips and tricks to crack that specific part in the assessment, right? So just like that, what are the tips and tricks to crack a sentence or to put up a proper sentence ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, first thing is read the whole sentence. First thing, read the whole sentence. So ನೀವು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೋವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ಎರರ್, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಕಡೆ ಸಿಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಿಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಡೆ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ as I always suggest, when it is option A, option B, option C and option D, keep on eliminating the wrong options or the wrong options first. Now let's suppose if D is not the answer, caught it. If C is not the answer, caught it. If A is not the answer, caught it, and you'll end up with the right answer. But if you're not doing this, you'll sit and waste all of your time looking at just the options. Okay, then look for small clues. Every sentence will give you a clue, which I'll be discussing in the upcoming questions. Okay, now check pronoun usage. Even pronouns are implied there in the set of questions. And also trust your ear. Trust your ear matlab kya? It means that see, whatever you read it to yourself, okay, so whatever you have heard, is that resonating with the questions or is that aligning with the questions is the point. Okay, so now let's get to the first question. Okay, so illi nanu some 10 to 12 set of questions madidini, and every set of question is different when compared to each other. So ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್. ನಾವು ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ವೆರಿ ಡೀಪ್ಲಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಬ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ದೆನ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಡೀಪ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಿಪೊಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಬ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. Okay, now the first question goes like, choose the correct sentence. Here comes, the team of engineers are working on the project. The team of engineers is working on the project. The team of engineers were working on the project, and the team of engineers have been working on the project. So idralli everything seems almost similar and almost appropriate alva. So now how are you going to decide that it is right or wrong anta helidaga? Now ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಂಗೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ನೌನ್ ಅಂತ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ನೌನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ವಿ ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ನೌನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, ಅ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್. ನೌ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ. Okay, family is one word, but it is a collective, collection of people. So it is a collective noun, alva. Now, team is a collection of noun. Team is a collective noun, okay na? So now when the team is a collective noun, it takes a singular, okay? So ivaga collective noun ide anta helidaga, adradu what will be the opponent of it? It is singular. It is always singular, okay? When it is plural, it is, okay, now let's suppose this is plural. Collective noun is a collection of something. So we have singular. If it is vice versa, then it will be plural here, Artha aita? So now what can be the correct answer? The team of engineers is working on the project. The team of engineers is working on the project because the team of engineers over here, okay na, over here is a collective noun. And for that collective noun, we are supposed to, have a singular, alva? Have a singular verb. So this is the right answer. See, if you see the first option, the team of engineers anta ide, but we are using a plural here, right? And for me, it is not the option D, not the option C, not the option A, but option B. So always remember, collective noun has a singular verb always with it, okay? Moving on to the next question. So ivaga pronoun antecedent agreement anta ide. It is very complex. So ನೀವು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬೇಡ. Why I have put it down there is because for you guys to just know. So okay, ಈ ಒಂದು sentence ಈ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ it is called as pronoun antecedent agreement anta, or else it is called as subject verb agreement anta, for which different live sessions will be going on. Now coming to the next question, choose a sentence that is grammatically correct anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Now, neither of the girls brought their books. Neither of the girls brought her books. Neither of the girls brought her book, and neither of the girls brought theirs books. So now what I said, read the sentence to yourself. Okay, na? Now, option D naam noddaga, neither of the girls brought theirs books. See, their book anta idre okay. Now, what is this theirs? It is not sounding very correct to the ear. So always trust your ear, and it is not the right option. Neither of the girls brought their books. Now, neither of the girls brought her books. See, neither is something singular, alva? If you see this, neither is singular. Even nor is singular. So now neither and nor are something very singular. And illi pronouns andre enappa? Her, him, okay, they, idella pronouns. We call them as pronouns. Okay, so now neither is singular, so the pronoun her must agree with the singular subject. So idu matte idu, they should be resonating with each other. So what will be the correct answer for this? The correct answer will go like, neither of the girls brought her books. Neither of the girls brought her books. Now, what do we mean by pronouns? Pronouns is something like, now let's suppose there is a name called, Kavana, okay? So now I cannot, in one specific paragraph, I cannot use Kavana several times. Kavana came to school, Kavana sat on the bench, Kavana took her pen, Kavana left the class, Kavana was sick. No. Other than that, what I can use is her. Kavana came to the school, but she wasn't feeling well, or she did not come to the class. So she, her, anadella, we use it just to avoid repetitive nouns na pade pade use madadrinda, so we avoid it. Okay, moving up to the next question, it is tense. Okay, so ನೀವು you would have learnt it in the very first grammar classes, that tense, we have past tense, present tense, future tense, so we should be very familiar with it. Now the correct this sentence. She has went to the market, she has gone to the market, she wented to the market, and she has go to the market. Okay, so now what I always say is, repeat the sentence for yourself. Okay, repeat the sentence for yourself. She has go to the market. No, the go is like, is not the, it is not proper, right? So we're just cutting this. She wented to the market. We don't have any word called as wented. It is gone, right? So we don't have anything called as wented. So this is not the option. She has went to the market. No. She has gone to the market can be correct, because gone, this gone is the past participle of go. So go to past participle bandu this gone. Okay, Yes, so if you even read it to yourself, this option holds the very appropriate answer that she has gone to the market. My mother has gone to the market, or my friend has gone to the market, or she has gone to the market, something like that. Okay. Moving on to the next question, we have something called as prepositions. Okay, so including all of these, subject verb agreement irli, tense irli, prepositions irli, and mattondhu ene irli, they combine all of these and they will give you to correct the sentence. So they will not mention that the preposition is missing and you have to do it. They will not mention that there is subject verb agreement, work on this. No, they'll just give you a sentence and you have to correct it. Now, it is again the sentence correction. He is good in math, he is good at math, he is good with math, and he is good by math. Now, if you would have heard it in your day-to-day life, right? So, ivaga nem teacher helbodu, he is very weak in social science, but he is very good at math anta. So, that is what I called as trust your ears. So, whenever, yaradru enadru one sentence helidre, aa sentence nam taleli ulkondirutte. Just a second. Okay, if somebody is speaking something, that sentence remains in our mind, in our ears for very longer time, alva. So I still remember my teacher telling that she wasn't good at social science, but she was good at Hindi, or she was good at language, right? So now if I trust my ears and I read the sentence, I find this proper. He is good at math. Now, coming to the actual preposition, ivaga prepositions alli ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರಬಹುದು in, at, on, off, to. So idella prepositions. You will have a separate live sessions on this, so don't you worry. Now, the thing is, in these options, he is good at math is the appropriate one. Okay. The correct preposition to use with good in this is at. So we'll go with at. Okay. Next, parallel structure. In this, now she likes reading, to swim and hiking. She likes reading, swimming and hiking. She likes to read, swimming and hiking. She likes reading, to swimming and hike. Okay. So now, if we look at all of these sentences, if we look at all of these options, alva, so we know one thing, that there is verb here. Okay, read, swim, hike, avella verb. And we also have something called as gerunds. Okay, pronunciation different irutte, but I pronounce it gerunds. Okay, so ee gerunds andre enappa anta helidaga, a verb that ends in ing and functions as to noun. So whatever the words which are ending with ing, alva, reading, writing, dancing, singing, right, and functions as noun. Okay, so now the thing here is, she likes reading, swimming and hiking. So this is the appropriate answer, because all of the gerunds here are, resonating with each other, alva. All the verbs should be in the same form. ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೀಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ it is not, resonating, or it is not syncing with each other. So the only option which is syncing with each other really is reading, swimming and hiking. So we'll go with option B, and we are going to chord C, D and A, because as we discussed, we are first supposed to chord the wrong answers. Wrong options. Now, choose a correct sentence without redundancy. Now, what do we mean by this term called as redundancy? If anybody belong from computer science background, we always use this in the we always use this word in code. Okay, so we don't want redundant code. So when the data alli redundancy irbardo, illa one code alli redundancy irbardo anta. Redundancy is nothing but same set of things which are repeated unnecessarily. Okay, so ivaga now let's suppose one Excel sheet already ಇದೆ, the data is already present. but the same folder contains the same file again. So that is a redundant file. Okay na? So adrinda enagutte redundancy inda enagutte, it is nothing but the same set of amount, the same amount of data is getting repeated again and again alva. So now just like that, e specific sentences alli, okay, e specific sentences alli, we have something which is redundant. Okay, andre pade pade repeat agide anta, and that is what we are supposed to find out. So ivaga assessment alli now let's suppose ನಮ್ಮ WIPRO WILP 2024 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು redundancy ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ. No, they won't ask that. It is you have to find out as to okay there is something which is redundant, ಏನು ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆನಾ? So if we go at redundancy, the correct option here is he was delayed due to the traffic. Okay na? So he was delayed due to the traffic. He was delayed due to the traffic is the right answer. So why is not option A, option B and option C is it is not correct anta heldaga? See, the reason is because it is either because or either it is the reason alva. So it cannot be the reason because we usually use the reason is I was unwell so I did not turn up today, or it can be like I did not come to the office because I was unwell. It cannot be like the reason is because I was unwell alva. So it is, first thing is it is very wrong to hear, it sounds very wrong. And second thing is, if you trust your ears, it would obviously it will sound incorrect. The reason for this delay is because, see, the reason because is repeated twice. The reason for his delay is due to. Now, why is due to repeated twice when we are already telling the reason? Now, again here, the reason for his delay is because. So we'll call option A, option B and option C because these are the redundant words which are being used again and again. Okay? So now, E one sentence odvaga ನೀವು, he was delayed due to the traffic. As simple as that. Okay? Now, coming to the next question. Comparatives. This cake is more tastier than that one. This cake is tastier than that one. This cake is more tasty than that one. This cake is more tastier than that one. So now tastier is already an adjective. So if you would have learnt about nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, so ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು as to what this adjective is. Now this tastier, this specific term called tastier is a it is a comparative adjective alva. Tastier, it is tastier. Okay, see, we have taste, tastier, tastiest alva. So ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಲೆಸನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತಿದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್, ನೀವು ಟೇಸ್ಟಿಯಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತಿದ್ರಿ. ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿಯರ್, ಹ್ಯಾಪಿಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಅಡ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಟೇಸ್ಟಿಯರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ why are we using this? Because it is comparatively, ಈ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಕಿನ್ನ it is comparatively better. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೆಟರ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ it is more, it can be like more tasty, right? So it is more tasty, that is why it is tastier. Okay, so the option can be this cake is tastier than that one. This cake is tastier than that one because now let's suppose this is a cake, we had a cake here, we had cake, let's suppose we had a pineapple cake and we had an apple cake here. Okay, so apple cake is tastier than that one. Okay, got my point? So this cake is most tastier than that one. No, because it's not the most, because we have the tastiest here. This cake is more tasty than that one. This cake is more tastier than that one. This sounds appropriate. This cake is tastier than that one. Okay. Now moving up to the next question. It is pronoun consistency. The sentences goes like, everyone must bring their own lunch, everyone must bring his or her own lunch, everyone must bring its own lunch, and everyone must bring theirs lunch. Okay, now if you trust your ears and if you would have heard sentences, you just keep quoting the wrong ones. Everyone must bring theirs lunch. We have nothing called as theirs. Do we use it in our day-to-day life called as theirs? When it is everyone, it is never theirs. Everyone must bring theirs lunch is no. Everyone must bring its own lunch. Its is not a proper proper preposition to use it with everyone, but yeah, we'll cut this off. Everyone must bring his or her own lunch. This can be apt because when we are telling something about everyone, or let's suppose everyone in the office are supposed to bring his or her own lunch. It has females and it has males. So females goes like her and male goes like his. All right. So now it can be like everyone, his or her. When we are referring to a collective adjective, right? So we are supposed to use it as his or her. So everyone must bring his or her own lunch can be all right. Now everyone must bring their own lunch. Everyone must bring their own lunch because everyone is singular here. Okay, because it is focusing on individuals. Is singular and requires his or her as the pronoun. His, her is a pronoun here. Like, I had already said that. To avoid repeating it again and again, we use as his and her, alva. So everyone must bring his or her own lunch. Because keep in mind that everyone is singular and requires his or her bandhu, his, her, both are like the pronouns. Okay. Now moving up to the next question, idiomatic expressions. Now let's suppose you guys have visited a cafe or a coffee shop or a tea shop, something like that, and you would have heard people saying that if I ask what do you prefer, people always tend to say that I prefer coffee to tea. It is I prefer coffee to tea. I have heard most of them telling that I prefer coffee over tea, but idiomatic expression is like, if you are from computer science background, we have the syntax. Syntax under a set of rules which is created prior and you're supposed to use that syntax and make sure you code. So adhe tara idiomatic expression alli syntax bando prefer X to Y. This is the syntax which we use, prefer X to Y, right? So prefer X to Y, it is the syntax which we use for idiomatic expressions, alva. So if you compare the same syntax in here, I prefer coffee to tea is the appropriate answer, right? So we can quote the rest of the options. I prefer coffee than tea, over tea, for tea is something which we don't use and we don't recommend while communicating or while using English, alva. So now it is always like I prefer coffee to tea, or I prefer tea to coffee, or I prefer soft drinks over to milk products, something like that. Okay. So always remember that in idiomatic expressions, it is from X to Y. Now let's suppose something as let's suppose we take something called as XYZ. And so it can be like X to Y, Y to Z, and Z to X, something like this. Moving on to the next question, we have something on the topic called as articles. So now what do we mean by articles? You have heard it from your grade 1, alva. So articles are nothing but a, an, and the, alva. So I hope you guys know as to yavaga a use ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, yavaga an use ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, yavaga the use ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ. So now usually ನಾವು an ಯಾವಾಗ use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, we have 26 alphabets, right? We have 26 letters. We have 26 letters in alphabets. Alva. So adralli we have something called as consonants and we have something called as vowels. Right? So consonants are something which is apart from vowels. Vowels only we have A, E, I, O, U, right? So now this specific article, an article, is used with vowels only. Okay. So now let's suppose elephant. Okay. So we have E, which is a vowel. We use an elephant. Okay. Umbrella. Umbrella. We have view. That is why we use an. Now we have something called as honor. Honor. H is silent here. It is honor, right? So this O is a vowel, so we use it as an. It was an honor meeting you. We never say it as honor. No, it is honor. Okay. So now ಇದೇ ತರ ನಾವು ಎ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ದಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಟು ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ನೋ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವವಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಎ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವವಲ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ ಬರಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಎ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ಆರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. I have advices for you. Okay. So ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎ ಇದೆ. It is already a vowel. Okay ನಾ? And ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಆನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. Okay. As I said, it is all right. But ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು. And what are those factors? Countable and uncountable nouns ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Countable and uncountable nouns. Okay. Now, countable is something like, now let's suppose there are students in the class. Okay. It is countable. Let's suppose stars in the galaxy or the rice in the bag. It is something which is uncountable. Just like that, advice anta yenide, that word advice is uncountable. Can we count advice? No, it is completely uncountable. So uncountable noun jote navu a ಮತ್ತೆ an use ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. It is what the rule says. So we are not supposed to use a or an with uncountable nouns. Okay. So now if we go with an option, it will be like, I have some advice for you. Okay. I have some advice for you. I have advices for you. No. I have an advice might be right if this wasn't a uncountable noun, rather it was a countable noun. Okay. So I have some advice for you. Okay. So now moving on to the next question, it is something called as double negatives. Sorry. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He did not do nothing wrong. He didn't do any wrong. So if you read, you are just confusing yourself, alva. All of these questions are tricky and also sounds same as well, right? So now see, double negatives anta naanil mention madidini, but assessment alli double negatives ಮೇಲೆ question bandide, solve it anta kodalla. They just give you, choose the correct sentence or correct the sentence anta kodtare, and you're just supposed to choose it. And that is when you have to find out that this specific sentence talks something about the double negatives. Okay. ಇವಾಗ double negatives ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? Double negatives ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ one sentence ಅಲ್ಲಿ, okay, one sentence alli it is already talking about a negative, rather again it will talk something about the negative. Okay, we'll see it here. He didn't do nothing wrong. See, did not is, it is telling, a sentence ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೆ that ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ nothing ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ and ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಖಂಡಿತ ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ it is not that sentence. Now he didn't do anything wrong. Okay, we'll keep this as an option. He did not do nothing wrong. Again, ಇಲ್ಲಿ didn't ಅಂತ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲಾಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು did not ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ did not do nothing wrong ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ. He did not do any wrong. No, because when, see, ಇಲ್ಲಿ already did not ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಹಿ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎನಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ರೀಡ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಯೋರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ರೀಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರಿ ಅನ್ಸ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಯು ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಇಟ್. ಹಿ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ಸ್ okay, and this sounds all right, and this sounds appropriate too. Double negatives should be avoided in a sentence. Moving on to the next question. It is about conjunctions, okay? I will come to the party if I finish my work. I will come to the party if I finish my work. No, but if I finish my work, I will come to the party, or if I finish my work, I will come to the party yet I finish my work. See, most of them, ನನಗೆ ಓದ್ತಿರಂಗೆ ಅದು it is giving me a feel that okay, this is not how we use English. ನಾವು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಓದುವಾಗನೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಇಂದ ಕಾಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬರೋಣ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ. I will come to the party yet I finish my work. ಇಲ್ಲ, we don't use yet here. Yet ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು ಮಧ್ಯ ಸೇರಿಸಲ್ಲ. So it is not right. I will come to the party or if I finish my work. No, it can't be that. I'll come to the party or no, ashte. If I finish my work will not go with it. I will come to the party if I finish my work. It is right because see, nan party ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ವರ್ಕ್ ನ ಮುಗಿಸಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ. It is what is in English there. I will come to the party but I finish my work. No. So conjunctions ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು we have to use it very properly, which sounds right to the ears and also which aligns with the sentence properly. Okay, I will come to the party if I finish my work. See, usually now let's suppose I'm calling my friend, hey, will you please join us to the party in the evening? So she'll tell that yes, I will come to the party if I finish my work. As simple as that. So ನೀವು ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೂಲಕ, ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರೀಕಾಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, coming to the last question for the day. We have, if you just notice, we have two words here, emigrated and immigrated, alva. So we have something called as emigrated and we have something called as immigrated. Now what do we mean by this? First, ನೀವು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು, ನಾವು ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇವಾಗ ಇದೇ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಮಿಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, ಇಮ್ಮೈಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಪದದ ಅರ್ಥ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಮೊದಲು. ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಆ ಪದ ಏನು, ಆ ಪದದ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಎಮಿಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? Emigrated is something like, see, to leave a country. Emigrated is to leave a country. Now, what do we mean by immigrated? Immigrated means come into a country to live. Artha aita? So now emigrated andre to leave a country, immigrated andre to come into a country to live. Okay na? So ivaga she emigrated to the United States from India. She immigrated to the United States from India. She emigrated in the United States from India and she emigrated to the United States for India. For India is no, it is always from. Okay. So now we immigrated, see, coming into a country to live. Avಳು USA ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರೋದು to live there alva. So it cannot be like she's leaving. No, it is like living. So this can be appropriate. She immigrated to the United States from India. So this is a big no. Okay. Since she came to the US, immigrated is correct. See, avಳು USA ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. That is why immigrated is correct. Okay na? So I guess that's it for today. So in this specific live session, we have learned about articles we have learned about which word choice is it. We have taken an example of emigrated or immigrated, and also we have learned about conjunctions, double negatives, article use, idiomatic expressions, pronoun consistency, comparatives, redundancy, parallel structure, prepositions, tense, and pronoun antecedent agreement and subject verb agreement. So ivaga I'm telling it one last time. So nimige one sentence correction ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು question ಕೊಡುವಾಗ they'll not mention that ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ question ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. Okay, so they'll not mention that the question is on that, but you have to just make sure that this specific sentence is on subject verb agreement, this specific sentence is on, it's on prepositions, it's on conjunctions, okay? And that is when you'll come to know that, okay, so this is what I have to correct anta, right? So hope all of the tips and tricks which I have said it here is helpful for you all, okay? And also after all of these, the only motive or the only reason is to grammar punctuation idea, sentence structure correct idea, word usage idea, and overall a sentence one correct ಆಗಿ form ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದೇ is the reason. Yes. Again, I am telling you guys, 20 marks will be allotted for 20 whole minutes. Okay. And yes, that's it for today. And if you guys have any questions or any queries regarding sentence correction, please feel free to drop your comments down in the comment section, and see you guys in the next live session. Thank you. Please come to the room.